Welcome to Territory Logic. My name's Sam, and this is another dispatch for you. Here's what's moving today. The UK just broke the Europe's funding record with a $2 billion round. Yann LeCun raised over $1 billion to prove that the entire AI industry is wrong, and we're tracking that $6 billion deployed in the last 3 days. That is absolutely insane. This is another big one. The UK AI infrastructure company Nscale just shattered every European funding record with a $2 billion Series C at $14.6 billion valuation. Let that sink in for a second. This is the largest tech funding round in European history. The round was led by ACA, ASA and 8090 Industries. But here's what's getting wild. Sheryl Sandberg and Nick Clegg are joining the board. We're talking about Meta's former COO and former UK Deputy Prime Minister now backing British AI infrastructure. That is not normal. But honestly, the investor list reads like a who's who of AI power plays. Nvidia, Citadel, Dell, Jane Street, these aren't venture tourists. These are companies that understand what it takes to build AI at scale, and they're betting the sovereign compute infrastructure is about to become the most important asset class of the next decade. Here's the thing though. Nscale already committed £2.5 billion investment into the UK as part of their broader data centre expansion plans. So what does that actually mean? They're not just raising money to build infrastructure, they're raising money to become the European answer to American cloud dominance. And with an IPO plan for 2026, this could be the biggest European tech public offering we've ever seen. I mean, come on, a $14.6 billion valuation for a company that launched in 2024. That's either complete insanity or witnessing the birth of Europe's first AI infrastructure giant. Honestly, given who's backing them, I'm betting for the latter. Yann LeCun's Advanced Machine Intelligence just raised $1.03 billion, the largest Europe seed round ever, to build what he calls world models. This is Meta's former AI chief betting everything on JPA architecture, which is fundamentally different from an autoaggressive text prediction that powers ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. Bezos' expeditions, Nvidia, Samsung, and Temasek are backing these $3.5 billion valuations, and LeCun plans to produce fairly universal intelligence systems within 3 to 5 years. This is the most well-funded bet against the entire foundation of modern AI. Absolutely mind-blowing. So here's some of the numbers. OpenAI's $110 billion round didn't just break records, it obliterated them. $840 billion post-money valuation makes it the most valuable private company in history by a massive margin. They're targeting a Q4 of 2026 IPO at a near $1 trillion, which would make them more valuable than most countries' entire economies. As part of this round, they're launching significant infrastructure partnerships with Amazon and Nvidia. Does anyone else find it completely wild that a company founded in 2015 is now worth more than Tesla and Meta combined? Mental. So some new launches. Robotics, spun out of electric vehicle maker Rivian, just landed a $500 million Series A co-led by Apple and Anderson Horowitz by AI-powered manufacturing automation. $2 billion valuation of an industrial robotics company represents a completely new model. Start with the proprietary manufacturing data, building EVs, develop the robotics internally, then scale to manufacturers. Rivian CEO R.J. Scaridge told the Wall Street Journal that Mind Robotics will have a large number of robotics deployed by the end of this year. This follows Roda's AI $45 million round and confirms that industrial robotics with foundation model intelligence is becoming a primary 2026 investment category. So some policy here. The EU Council just agreed to streamline AI Act implementation with timeline extensions for up to 16 months for high-risk AI systems. Here's the thing though, if the Commission decision never comes or comes too late, they've set backstop dates of December 2027 for standalone high-risk systems and August 2nd, 2028 for embedded high-risk systems. The proposal brings greater legal certainty and more harmonised implementation across member states. But honestly, this feels like the European regulations finally realising their original timeline was completely unrealistic for the pace of AI developments. February set an all-time funding record of $189 billion. That's 780% year-over-year growth from February 2025. But here's what's actually insane. 83% of that capital went to just 3 companies, and AI-related startups accounted for 90% of global venture funding. Let that sink in. We're not just in an AI boom, we're in a complete concentration of capital around artificial intelligence that we've never seen before in any technology cycle. Now, the one thing that you need to know today. Everyone keeps talking about the AI bubble. Mainstream media is increasingly discussing when it's going to burst. VCs are whispering about an AI winter. But here's the question that nobody's asking. What if they are all wrong? Daniel Nadler, founder of OpenAI, a $12 billion company with 100 employees serving 3 million Americans, said something in NVIDIA's GTC that should terrify every traditional business model. In the coming years, some of the most valuable companies in the world will have sub 100 employees. I think the world is not prepared for that, and I tend to agree. Look, the AI bubble discourse completely misses what's actually happening. The companies driving most of the spend today actually have earnings, cash flow, and customers asking for capacity. This isn't .com speculation where companies are burning cash with no revenue model. Industries are already reporting tangible ROIs, revenue growth in retail media, relief of administration burden in healthcare, substantial gains in security efficiency. Here's what's really happening. 2026 is marking the maturation of enterprise AI, with organizations shifting from hype-driven experimentals to measurable value creation. The AI bubble won't burst because it's not actually a bubble. It's fundamentally a shift on how value gets created. The operating model gap will separate the winners from casualties, but AI winter is not coming. If anything, the heat is just turning up. When you can build a $12 billion company with fewer than 100 people, that's not a bubble. That's the future of business itself. Nscale breaks European records with $2 billion in funding. LeCun bets $1 billion against the entire AI establishment, and OpenAI closes the largest private round in history with $110 billion. Meanwhile, everyone's worried about the bubble, while $12 billion companies operate with sub 100 employees. We'll be back tomorrow with what's moving next. Hit subscribe if you want that edge on what's actually driving this market, because the signal is getting stronger, not weaker.